So go ahead and be in pranayama. Oh, I have to change my Wi-Fi connection, I think. It seems like it's okay, so I'm not gonna. Okay, so pranayama shavasana. Salaba shavasana on a bolster. All right, so be in Salaba shavasana on a bolster with a blanket. So as you settle into Shavasana, let the weight of the limbs anchor you to the earth. And then from there, descend the shoulders away from the ears and toward the floor. So that you can access the shoulder blades. There's a feeling of pulling the shoulder blades downward and then in toward the front body. Anatomically, we call that depression and retraction. It's not a very strong action. It's a mild action. But we keep that consciousness even in this rest pose. Because as we rest, we tend to round. So when you get completely passive, then often the shoulders will round forward. So instead, keep that intentional broadness across the collarbones, the intentional heaviness of the arms, upper arm bones rolling out, and the back muscles descending, the shoulder blades descending toward the hips, and then pressing slightly forward toward the chest. It's not a strong action. It's not like when you're in asana. It's a mild action. And hopefully, once you perform these mild actions, the shoulder blades will kind of stay in place so that you don't have to keep thinking about them. But every once in a while, you might need to reinvigorate them. When you feel your shoulders rounding, your upper back rounding, then you can reinvigorate the action of the back muscles and the shoulder blades. From there, soften the throat, descend the chin, with the chest spread open, and normal breathing here. Normal breathing. Abdomen effortlessly rising and falling. Now begin your work with the breath by imagining the center line of the body and then the breath expanding outward from the center line to the periphery. So in Iyengar Yoga, we say from the core to the periphery. Experience the expansion, the gentle, don't force it. Let it develop over the course of minutes from the core to the periphery, from the center to the sides on the inhales, and on the exhales to move from the periphery to the core. Observe that movement of the breath, that shape of the breath. As the breath becomes slower and softer, observe that movement from the core to the periphery and the periphery to the core to become slower also, slower and more subtle. That subtlety, sukshma, is definitely a trait of pranayama, learning how to become more subtle with the pranic energy and apply it in more subtle ways. Pranayama is just the laboratory for us to develop these skills. So as you become more adept with shaping and working with the prana in your own body, then you can also become more adept at becoming more sensitive, more subtle with working with the prana in other situations, in relationships, in gatherings, in family, in gardens, in communities, in cultures. But the sensitivity starts here, the subtlety starts here. So observe the movement from the center to the periphery, from the periphery back to the center, and then assist that movement with the abdomen. The abdomen can assist the diaphragm. The diaphragm naturally on its own moves up and down, but you can assist that movement of the diaphragm with the lift of the abdomen. So you can mediate that expansion from the core to the periphery through the lift of the abdomen up and back, and then maintain that lift of the abdomen up and back as you slowly exhale, so that you go from the periphery to the center gradually. Continue this awareness for another minute or so, allowing the breath to slow down and become softer. Do 2 more cycles and then return to normal breathing. Breathe normally for another minute or so. Making sure there's no tension or extra effort being held in the body. Now, for the next few minutes, we're going to do the opposite. So we'll inhale from the sides, from the periphery to the center. So what that means is that as you inhale, the sides, the outer edges will expand. And then as you continue inhaling, then the center also expands as a result of the periphery expanding. Then when you exhale down the center, maintain the expansion of the sides, and then finally let the sides soften. So we're inhaling periphery to the core, exhaling core to periphery. So it's the opposite of what we were just doing. See if you can feel the difference. Inhaling, expand the sides of the chest, side ribs. And then as you continue to inhale, feel the core filling, the center line filling, as a result of the sides expanding. And then as you exhale down the center line, maintaining the sides lifting and spreading until the very end. Continue along these lines for a while. See if you can feel the difference between core to periphery and periphery to core. See if you can feel the movement of the ribcage, not as like one unit, but as a supple, multi-dimensional organism. So inhaling periphery first, and then the core expands, and then exhaling down the center, and then finally letting the periphery soften. See that the throat stays soft, jaw soft. Proceed in this manner for another minute or so. Inhaling periphery to the core, exhaling core to periphery. So the prana in our bodies is very much malleable. It's very much, we can work with it in so many different ways, infinite number of ways. So Alice's cat is making sure that the abdomen stays soft. There should not be like a hardness or gripping in the abdomen. There's a lift in the abdomen, but it's a soft lift. So Yumisi can also imagine that a cat is sitting on your abdomen as a weight to keep it soft. Especially important during menstruation. So now, finish this cycle. And then return to normal breathing. Okay. Fold your hands onto your trunk, bend your legs one at a time, and then roll off your bolster to the right side. And then come on up. If you're on your period, sit with your back to the wall, okay? Sacrum all the way into the wall. Otherwise, you can be in the center of the room. Take your right leg in first, then your left leg. I'm not mirroring. And then support your legs. Let's also have a lap blanket. You could also use a mat. Sometimes it's nice to use a mat on your lap. It's a little bit stiffer, so there's pros and cons to every product choice, but a mat is sometimes nice. Okay, so let's push the hands into the, sorry, Yamisi, before you get settled, can you change your camera angle so that I can see you? Yeah, just angle your camera up a little bit so that I can see your posture. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. All right, so press your hands into the bolster and lift the chest up. Roll your shoulders back. So if you're using the wall, wedge yourself all the way into the wall. Have your shoulders touching the wall, your upper arms touching the wall, back of the head touching the wall. Then from here, Jalandhara Bandha. Bring the head down. Actually, let's work with Jalandhara Bandha a little bit. Take your hands to the back of the head like you would for Shirshasana. And then with your head down, lengthen the back of the skull away from the neck, and then use the weight of the elbows to bring the head a little bit further down. Now you'll notice at some point that the back starts to round. So stop before you get to that point, roll your shoulders back, but keep your head down. And then bring your hands to rest on your lap without rounding your back and without lifting your head. Okay, and now just release that for a moment. So we'll try, I'll show you a few different ways that you can work with Jalandhara Bandha. Another way is to take your thumbs in your ears and you take your hands to your, like the heel of the hand to your temple and the fingers around the back of the skull. And with your hands, your thumbs inside your ear, you rotate forward and down. So the thumbs are inside the ears, and then the fingers kind of gently roll the skull forward and down. And then release your hands, roll your shoulders back. So that's another way. And then come out and shake it off a little bit. And then a more subtle way is to take the bridge of the nose. And to pull down on the bridge. So it's like where my glasses are resting. Of course, you don't wear glasses when you do pranayama, but I just have my glasses on so I can see you. So I'm holding like where the pads of the eyeglasses go and then pulling down. on the bridge of the nose. And then release. So those are some ways to kind of train yourself to do Jalandhar Bandha. And then come out and shake it off. And now, so now you do, and you can do any of those methods, okay? Maybe you found that one worked better than the other. But so now inhale with the chest, exhale Jalandhar Bandha. You can see what is effective for you today. And then bring your hands to rest on your lap, palms up. Shoulders back. Okay? So the goal is in Jalandhar Bandha is for the chest to meet the chin. And that takes a long time. That takes years. And actually, it probably won't happen at the beginning of your pranayama session, but maybe toward the end of your pranayama session, the chest will be able to come up to the chin. It's not the chin coming down to the chest, because that can jam the throat and round the upper back. The upper back needs to stay upright. Shoulders need to stay pulled back. And it's nice when you have the wall, because the wall will give you information. If your shoulders come off the wall, then you know they're rolling forward. From here, let's take a few cycles of Viloma. So take a slow, soft inhale. We're going to do Abhyantara Viloma, Viloma inhales. And then slow, soft exhale. Once more. Slow, soft inhale, just to clear the path. Slow, soft exhale. Extend the pause. Inhale up through the center line, the core, and pause. Inhale toward the periphery, expanding outward, and pause. Inhale all the way out to the side ribs, filling the rib cage, pause. And then slow, soft exhale from the periphery to the core. Take a resting breath if needed. Extend the pause. Inhale through the center. Pause. Inhale toward the periphery. Pause. Inhale all the way out to the periphery. Pause. And then exhaling from the periphery to the core. One slow, soft, smooth breath. Now, both cats want to get in on this. All right, and then repeat. Recovery breaths in between or not. Extend the pause, exhaling, and then inhale. Same pattern. 3 more cycles. 3 more cycles. Keep the thumbs soft. Let the thumbs drop toward the palm. Bahya Abhyantara Viloma, from the core to the periphery. See that the shoulders stay pulled back, see that the head stays down. And then after your 3 cycles, then bring your head back up with your eyes closed. Once you're finished, change the cross of your legs. Adjust your seat. And then reestablish Jalandhar Bandha. you can use one of the techniques. And so now you can guess what's coming. We're gonna now do Abhyantara Viloma, but the opposite one, from the periphery to the core. So take a slow, soft inhale to prepare, a slow, soft exhale, sweeping the path clear. Extend the pause. Inhaling up the sides of the body, side ribs, side chest. Pause. Inhale halfway toward the center. Pause. Inhale now up the center line. Puffing that center line. Pause. And then exhale from the core to the periphery. One slow, soft, smooth exhale from the core to the periphery. Make sure the hands stay soft. Recovery breath in between. Then extend the outermost breath. Pause. Inhale, halfway toward the center. Pause. Inhale up the center line. Pause. And then exhaling from the center to the periphery. So the periphery stays lifted until the very end of the exhale. Okay, do 3 more cycles like this. So inhaling from the periphery to the core, and then exhaling from the core to the periphery. So it's the opposite of what we were doing. See what you notice that changes, that shifts when you approach the breath in this direction. It's like coming from entering the house from the side door, the back door, instead of the front door. Our relationship to the breath changes, our relationship to the prana changes, or strongly affected. After you finish your 3 cycles, bring your head back up with your eyes closed and just sit quietly. And then stretch your legs out and lie down. Let's rest now. Let the breath just be normal, unmediated. Let everything soften. And we've reached the end of our time, so you will take Shavasana on your own. Stay 5 minutes or so. Let everything come, let the physiological body settle down and become quiet again. And hope you all have a wonderful day. Take good care.